are back here for this weekend's previews at Los Alamitos Racecourse. I'm your host, Jose Contreras. We'll be taking a look at the card of Saturday, April 15th. And Michael, just like that, we're midway through April already in this brand new year.
Yes, it's hard to believe, isn't it, Jose? We're already a quarter of the way through the season, which actually leads me to a couple of trainer anomalies in the race that I want to talk about. So we'll get to that momentarily, but I know it's early in the season relative to who's going to rise to the top in the trainer standings and the jockey standings, but still there's just a couple of little oddities that I've noticed in the percentages.
Yeah, it's been a week of it's been I think a month of long shots on the thoroughbred side. So if you've been a long shot back on the thoroughbred races, you've been cashing good with some trainers that are having some very good solid seasons. And we'll talk more about the 2-year-olds and the quarter horse standings as well, because now you get these barns in the way with the 2-year-olds, and that's when you start stacking up on who has the numbers and the quantities to get involved the rest of the year with these 2-year-olds.
I will say how sensational it is. Since we had a discussion 2 or 3 weeks ago about how dubious and treacherous Gate 1 is for the 220-yard races. Mate, haven't several of them just jumped out and done everything right and won easily from Gate 1 ever since I opened my mouth?
we got juked like the first
right.
the very first card of 2-year-olds. We got juked. We had all these 1 holes at 1 to 2, 1 to 5, just makes all kind of mistakes, Michael. Since then, the one has been
as soon as I pointed it out, everything's been perfect from Gate 1.
It has been. It really has been. And maybe it's just a coincidence that we've had more mature 2-year-olds behaving along the inside. Well,
now, mate, I'll tell you what it is.
Yes,
it's the curse of the commentator.
It could be. But interesting enough, we have a well-meant, nicely worked in the mornings 2-year-old for Scott Willoughby and the Saturday night's 2-year-old event on a Saturday. So we'll see if that the rail trend continues, as they've been behaving very, very well over the last couple of weeks. But you want to take a look at a horse in race number 9, which is the start of the late daily double. So let's take a look at those PPs.
Yeah, it's a 300-yard allowance for 3-year-olds who have not won 2 races. Field of 5, and I'm out to gate number 5 on the outside post here with Chivalry, who has really had no luck in 4 or 5 starts. The only race where things went okay was the only win for the horse. On debut back in March of last year as an early season 2-year-old, he took quite a lot of money. He was well bet versus a subsequent winner, Louis Bien Corona, who was actually a very forward, progressive juvenile in the early part of the season last year. But Chivalry had the hindquarters bumped leaving the gate and was out of business in that race, and then came back for start number 2. And you could just say maybe the hindquarters were bumped again, but really the horse was pretty much turned sideways leaving the gate. And that was when I made a note of Chivalry, was start number 2, because the gallop out was decent and just no luck at all in either of the first 2 starts. And so then we progress to start 3, the maiden win in early June, which we will show you in replay, although it doesn't really make thrilling viewing. I mean, the horse had every chance, had plenty of space either side, had gate 3, and everything went perfectly. But still, it was a good effort to beat Butter Off Friends, who's gone on to be a decent horse. And Mahomes Magic, by the way, was in this field as well. So it was a decent cast.
Yeah, and you can tell a lot of things went right compared to his first 2 starts here. He broke cleanly, wide path, and grinded out a nice win. Now, he didn't take much betting support, so he still got a nice 5-1. But at least this tells us that when things go right, he has that fight and that finish in him.
Yes. There was so much space either side of Chivalry that he he would have been very disappointing, I'm sure, to Connections if he did not get the diploma on that occasion. But still, the time was okay, 15.78, relative to the other maiden wins by his opponents in this field. He subsequently was put into a Governor's Cup Futurity trial, but bled in that race and then took a long time off, was off for 8 months, had a bullet turn and work in January, came out in an El Primero del Año Derby trial last start and broke through the gate before the race, and nothing went right early in the race when it finally got underway. Again, really serious, legitimate excuses for all of the 4 defeats.
And I think, one thing that looks interesting to me is that, Ayala got the call first time out, right? He hasn't been able to ride him since that very debut call. He gets the mount back. If you're able to attract Jesus Ayala to ride first time out. Obviously, this horse was working well. The tote board told us that he was live at 2-1. So now maybe as a 3-year-old, we'll see a turnaround in form.
Right. And getting back to the time comparison, the maiden win for Chivalry was 15.78. The morning line favourite, One Famous Commando, broke the maiden when winning last time out in August in 15.72, but had a 5-mile-per-hour tailwind. And you'd never really like to see horses go to the sideline for so long after a winning effort. Val Prince, number 3, was a 15.77 maiden win with no wind. Jess Speed Cartel, number 2, a 15.83 with no wind. And the rail horse broke the maiden at 17-1 in the slowest time of the 5 with no wind. So, just based exclusively on the maiden winning times, Chivalry stacks up very nicely and gets back to, basically we're going full circle, Jose, to the March of 2022 maiden race, the debut race, with Gate 5 in a field of 5 and Jesus Ayala. And I think that Chivalry is really tough in this spot, and I think 3-1 is a decent price on the morning line. It does puzzle me that there's no Lasix in play, because Chivalry is eligible now that he's a 3-year-old. And given that you can see right there in those comment lines that the horse bled last start as a 2-year-old, I find it a little surprising there's no Lasix. There is first-time Lasix for the morning line favourite, One Famous Commando, for his 3-year-old debut. So I've got a query against that. I don't really understand it. But still, Chivalry clearly has enough ability, right jockey, right post position, to make a big impact here at 3-1. I think it's decent odds in a field of 5. And
that'll be race number 9, the start of the late double, part of the pick 6 and late pick 4 as well. Michael going with Chivalry for Scott Willoughby. And Michael, last week you gave us a winner on the show. I forget the name of the horse, but I know it was the Inside Post. Well done. It was Paul Jones. And
it was a Parsons Ranch horse.
Yes.
Favorite Lady Cartel, I think was the name.
And
did a good job to win, and was really strong on the gallop out again. I think there's more wins in store for that filly, because all she's known is Gate 1 so far, and she's trending the right way for sure. I wish the odds had been a little more attractive come the close of Wagering. It wasn't quite what we'd hoped looking at the morning line. But, as they say, any price a winner.
Exactly. Yeah, and yes, the gallop out was good. And also there was a little bit, if I remember correctly, there was a little mistake at the gate and just, recovered quickly and took care of business. So it looks like that runner's still improving. And like you mentioned, maybe more distance and more experience is always a good horse to keep tabs and keep following. And Zalazar, since returning, back to the saddle here, Losal, he's been teaming up with good success for Paul Jones. So that's the barn that is definitely putting him on very live mounts. So keep up looking at that connection, Zalazar and Jones.
Yes, Jones is having a very good season so far. And that leads me back to what I opened with, just these statistical anomalies for a couple of trainers, including Scott Willoughby, the trainer of my pick for Saturday Night Chivalry. It's just slightly surprising to see his win percentage sitting at 10. He's had 5 wins, 8 seconds, 8 thirds from just over 50 starters. So, you know, the minor placings are outweighing the wins there, and I've got to think it's only a matter of time before Willoughby just gets on a little bit of a roll. And look at Valentin Zamudio, would you? Trainer of number 2, just beat Cartel 4 wins, 16 minor placings from 50-odd starts. He's sitting there at 8%. We know both of these trainers are so much better than the current win rate for this season is indicating. So just interested in how that might start to even up. I got to think that there's a good streak coming for both of those very, very talented conditioners.
Yes, it's especially now that the 2-year-olds are going to get on their way. We expect all those beautifully bred Rolling Lane Ranch 2-year-olds for Ed Allred to start rolling, and that might get the Scott Willoughby barn rolling in a very, very good way the rest of the year.
Yeah, and there's plenty of minor placings. It's probably just a case of, you know, sometimes the photo finishers smile upon you and sometimes they frown at you. But I just think there has to be a certain evening up at the win end of things for both Willoughby and Zamudio in the coming months. So maybe we can ride that wave.
There was 6 entered in Chivalry. Now it's only 5 entered in that race. So I just got thrown off there a little bit by the entries.
Yes, there was an original 6th entry, hard to know, but has already been scratched from the race. So
yes.
So Chivalry will be number 5, the outside draw in a field of 5.
Yes, that's what just threw me off right now. So I was like, what, am I seeing numbers? And no, I got the early PPs here on me, and I had 6 runners. I was like, wait, we're only showing 5. But yeah, Chivalry draws the outside post, 5, 3-1, Scott Willoughby, and that already. That'll be 3-1. I do think the 4 is going to take money off the layoff. I'm in agreement with Edinburgh's storyline. But with that compact field of 5, I don't think anyone's going to be super, super short. So we'll see how that race plays out in race number 9. All right, Michael, thank you so much for that winner last week, and best of luck with your calls this week, and I'll see you out there at Los Al.
Okay, good on you, mate. Hooroo.
Racing fans, the traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a Pick 6 carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a Pick 6 carryover or the $10,000 Pick 6 promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, with a season's best $205,000 on January 7th and a $115,000 pool on January 29th. The traditional $2 Pick 6, a great bet, a great deal, big-time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.
Yeah, the traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Al, especially that promo, has been terrific, well received by the horse players. So heading into a Sunday night, if there's no carryover, the Pick 6 pool will be seated with $10,000. And regardless, on Saturday nights, the players have been responding very, very well to that Pick 6 pool, Chris. It's been some very, very good payouts if you connect the 6 winners there in the Pick 6 at Los Al.
Yeah, you do. And like last week, we had like a $16,000 carryover on Saturday night going to Sunday night. They're putting down nice size pools Saturday, and heck, well, no carryover Sundays, that $10,000 seed money turns up to like $60,000 or $70,000. It's a great bet, that $2 Pick 6 at the old traditional like Los Alamitos with the nice size pools. You get any kind of prices, you get a nice return.
Are we the last ones? I think we might be the last ones, right? With the $2 Pick 6.
Yeah, there's not too many. I see lots of 20 centers and dollar Pick 6s across the way, but old style Pick 6. I'm an old style guy, and
Yes.
we're sticking with it at Los Alamitos.
And we might be, and I think we're one of the only ones, I think, that that has the $1 place pick all. I think Del Mar might offer it, the $1 place pick all, but there's not a lot of racetrack that offer that $1 place pick all, which both you and I are a fan of. And we like getting involved with the dollar place pick all. I've seen in the last week, I think we saw a nearly $5,000 payout for a place pick all, and another one for like over 8,000, if I believe so. So the $1 place pick all has been
great. You get some long shots, knock out some of those big heavy favorites, and you get some huge returns. And the thing about it is, you run 1-2 in one race. That's 2. You get it in another race. It goes 2 times 2 is 4. One time I had it 8 times. It paid $175. That's a nice return for a $32 or $64 investment.
That's the beauty of those place pick alls. We start hitting exactas in multiple legs. Before you know it, you're like, how many times am I alive? Like this could be, even if it pays $100, I'm alive 8 times. I'll take it. So that dollar place pick all is one of our fun bets that we like to get involved at Los Al, without a doubt. And I'm kind of used to bringing you on early, first segment, and then Michael. So I might have called, if I apologize ahead of time, I haven't listened to the recap of the video. I might have called Michael Chris, and if I call you Michael, that is just nature. But I apologize if I did.
No worries. Being called Michael's a compliment. No worries.
Yes. So I apologize ahead of time if I did or not. I was just going with the flow. All right, let's talk about race number 10 on Saturday night. It is a 10-race program, and we both liked this runner last week. Was it last week? A couple of weeks ago, right? Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And we're both liking this runner once again. Race number 10, who do you like?
The rail runner, just another cartel. This is a big-bodied runner that always been finding some trouble as of late. It's been like an in and out, one a good race, one troubled race, one good race, one troubled race. Last time was the troubled race time, and this horse was best when running a huge second versus a horse who got a perfect trip from the outside post. This horse got bumped back, was crossed, angled out, and absolutely flew on own when run left to give. So very, very impressive performance. And with a clear path, hopefully expected from the rail, the horse got a big look at the outcome.
So here it is. Just Under Cartel was a 3-horse. Look Up was a 4-horse, the eventual winner here. And let's take a look at this replay. We know he can finish, right? But he breaks low, gets, kind of squeezed back, and has to alter out. And after this kind of start, Chris, the race looked pretty much over, right?
Yeah, the horse had no chance to hit the board, but look at this big finish on own, just under a hand shove throughout, and couldn't catch the favorite that night, Look Up, who got the perfect trip there for Scott and the doctor. And this horse, very impressive performance, running a very good second, and very well could have made it very, very close at the wire with a clean trip.
Now, are you liking the same idea that he's getting extra distance tonight? He's been racing at 300 and 330. Now he gets to 350.
Yeah, he gets that extra yardage. He gets that outside post. And if you look at on his numbers, every other race, he breaks okay, then he comes back and breaks slow. He broke slow last time. Maybe with a clear path and a decent start from the rail, this horse could run to my projected numbers and be difficult to deny in that finale. Also,
he's run well from the inside post before, so this is nothing new to him. So he's going to have the inside post on Saturday night. You look at his running lines, 330, 300, 300, 300. When he's gone 400 or longer, we've seen some of those good efforts as well. So I think getting to 350 yards, to me, it's a positive for Just Another Cartel.
Yeah, gets it right there, gets added yardage tonight, inside post. And like I said, on my numbers, every other start is a decent start. Like he had 5 trouble, 2 races back. Last time had 30-some trouble. So, and still running huge to be second. So if he gets away clean, he's got a big look at the outcome there as your probable favorite in the finale.
Yeah, Henry Lopez keeps them out. He was aboard the 4 Go Go Poke Go for Felix Gonzalez. By the way, Henry is nephew to Felix. So he's getting off the family, off the uncle's horse to stick here with Just Another Cartel. To me, that's just saying, you know what? I'm going to stick with the better horse. Sorry, uncle. I'll go back and ride plenty of winners for you as I've done. But I'm liking that Henry sticks with Just Another Cartel. And by the way, this runner is he a full sibling or half a sibling to Just the Cartel? Remember that big runner for the joiners I believe finished second in the Champion of Champions, and ended up winning. Did he win the Super Derby a few years back?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. So he's a sibling to that tremendous runner for the Joiners. So just another cartel. We both like this horse. Can he carry both of our opinions, Chris? Is this too much pressure on just another cartel?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, this horse has got a good amount of ability. It's just a matter of getting out of the gate in a decent fashion. He's got extra yardage to work with tonight. So I think he's got a big look there for Paul Jones and Leslie Joyner.
Who do you think is the main threat? If you had to pick another horse that you think, you know what, this is the other horse that might be the main contender to that runner.
Well, Watch Him Go's got some good numbers. And, of course, Insider has been away for 196 days, or actually a little bit longer than that, 200-some days, but came back with a B-minus workout. Has got some past numbers and can run well fresh. Kind of a long shot looker there, Insider, but Watch Him Go. Ran a very good race last time and had to look at the outcome there as well.
So there it is. If we don't get enough of a good win price on the one, maybe we combine those two other opinions for an exacto with those runners. So just another cartel. Both Chris and I are in agreement that he's going to be plenty tough to beat with any kind of clean trip going 350 yards on Saturday night. Speaking of Saturday night, I'll be out of town. I'll be stepping away on Saturday night. Chris will be, he gets the call from the dugout. He's warming up. Are you a righty or are you a lefty? Are you a righty or are you a lefty?
I'm a righty coming in out of the bullpen.
All right. Chris is going to be throwing fastballs down the middle all night long. I expect him to kind of sweep the card on set. He'll be on the FanDuel set there on Saturday night, stepping in as I'm out of town on Saturday night. So, Chris, you'll be able to watch him there on the FanDuel signal and get ready for all his analysis and selections on Saturday night. So, Chris, bring just another cartel home for both of us on Saturday night.
That sure would be nice. Just get the horse out of the gate. He can do the rest.
Yeah, let's see if he does. All right, Chris, have a good evening, and I'll be wishing you the best of luck on Saturday night and watching for all your analysis there on FanDuel TV.
All right, bye. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you to our models that we were able to get for our commercials, Professor. We saw Armando Cervantes and Jesus Ayala, two top quarter horse riders here at Los Al. And also we saw Isabel, part of our marketing department there, and also Elena Andrade. So Elena, people know her, visiting the winner's circle, taking pictures with her winning horses. And she's donning some nice apparel from the gift shop for us.
Of course, always can get some nice apparel from the gift shop, open every Saturday and Sunday nights during the racing action. So come on out. It's right next to the main entrance there at Los Alamitos, and we have a nice new collection for 2023. Lots of brand new hats, lots of really cool vests, jackets, and a lot more. So check it out on your way up to the main grandstand apron there at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Lots of cool things in the Los Alamitos gift shop. And, of course, lots of cool races happening this Saturday night. Jose, a really nice race for 2-year-olds. Race number 6 will have some really nice, very impressive looking workouts from some of those babies as well. And I believe we have 3 allowance races for quarter horses and an allowance race with a really nice couple of thoroughbreds in that one of the better thoroughbred fields that we have had. As usual, we will have the 1,000-yard final with a $50,000 purse in the summer. There'll be another purse for I believe $30,000 for the next group of runners, and even the mare race is going to have a real race coming up, but they gotta get the points. They have to get the points. This race will probably go a long way into determining which couple of horses will be there, because we have Siguro, who is back. He's run some really nice races in the past, won a stakes race at Sunray Park. He is returning to action here in race number 4. And of course, Dutton, who is the current track record holder at this distance, he is making his first start at Los Alamitos for the year.
Yeah, you can see this is a very good group assembled for this allowance in race number 4. Not often we get to see a track record holder back in action, Professor. We have it here with Dutton. He's the quickest out of the gate. If he breaks like he's done here at Los Al, he might not catch him. He might be long gone.
No doubt about it. I mean, if you look at every single one of those races on that page, Jose, he is on the lead. After the first 100 yards, he's definitely on the lead. A couple of times he's there sitting second, and then shortly after that takes the lead. He was even setting the pace for most of that race. His last out, March 12th at Santa Anita, got tired there at the end. It was a 5-furlong race, but other than that, he was pretty much just flying on the lead early on before tiring out. 2 previous races, one of the $30,000 finals here at Los Alamitos on December the 4th. And before that, November 27th, won a really nice allowance race here by 2 1/4 lengths. And then that one, he went wire to wire. He's back here in action in this race number 4. Had a chance to talk to Lorenzo Ruiz about Dutton, a really nice one here at Los Al. How about we go to that interview with Lorenzo Ruiz talking about the track record holder. Always a thrill when we have a track record holder in action here at Los Alamitos, and that's what's going to happen on Saturday night. Dutton, a horse that won the $30,000 1,000-yard stakes here at Los Alamitos in December. You trained the horse, is back in action here at Los Alamitos. Will be making his first start of the year. First, how is the track record holder Dutton doing? How do you see him coming into this race, especially after racing at Santa Anita last out?
Dutton is, to me, I would say that he's the best. He's doing the best he's ever been since we got him. That race at Santa Anita, I think that just made him feel even better. And he came out of it really nice. I have no excuses. If he doesn't get there, I guess it'll be my fault, but the horse is doing really good.
And at Santa Anita, he faced a really tough field. Ended up finishing out of the money, but showed the speed that he's always shown here at Los Al. He showed it again at Santa Anita, was on the lead. So you had to feel like, I have a nice little shot. He's running his race, right, in that one.
Absolutely, yeah. He came out of the gates like he knows how to do it. He just went to the lead and went as fast as he could, as far as he could. Yeah, but like you said, it was against a pretty nice field of horses.
Here at Los Alamitos, he's going to probably have the same strategy, Lorenzo. Do you expect him to be on the lead on Saturday night, race number 4?
I'm hoping that he comes out of the gates good, and I think they're going to have a hard time catching him.
Cesar Ortega back on the horse on Saturday. Are you one of those trainers that believes that sometimes the jockey and the horse form a connection? Because Cesar and Dutton have been outstanding together.
I do. I think little Cesar gets along with them the best, better than anybody. He knows them well, and I'm hoping for a good outcome.
What's your plan for the horse for the year? Obviously, like I mentioned before, first out of the season here at Los Alamitos for this horse. We have the $50,000 summer final. I'm sure that's something that you would love to shoot for. Is that the plan? And he's going to need some points.
Well, I'm hoping that we can. We've been trying to enter for the whole year. The race just hasn't been feeling, but yes, I'm hoping that we can get enough points to. That's what we're aiming for, the big race. So hopefully we can get there.
Well, when they have a track record holder, they don't want to go against you, maybe. That might be the case, right?
It might be, but, in order to get there, we need to run him.
Right.
Hopefully we can do it.
Best of luck this Saturday night. Looking forward to seeing the track record holder Dutton continue his winning streak here at Los Al.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I like the sound of that, Professor. He said he's doing the best in his barn since they've had him. I like that confidence, and I like that he still showed us that he still has that same speed, like he showed us last time out at Santa Ida. So it looks like he's ready to go.
Yeah, I was trying to see if maybe he was thinking, well, there's maybe some other horses here that might challenge me there, but it's kind of hard to find anybody that can really keep up with him early on, at least. Siguro, like I was talking before, he's a horse that can certainly has the quality and the talent to give him a run in the later stages. And some of these other horses are in really good form. Proud Veteran has run really good here at Los Al every single time. Oil Can Knight, Alpine Thunder, even Winding, they're all coming off of victories.
I'm a fan of Proud Veteran. He ran an ultra game last time out. He might not be as quick to keep up with Dutton, but I think he's got races that make him a contender here. But the race has to go through Dutton. Dutton is a horse to catch. He's going to be tough to catch if he breaks as sharp as he's done here at Los Al. So that'll be race number 4 on Saturday night. Let's skip ahead to the 2-year-old race of the night. Race number 6, Professor. We got a field of 6. We got 2 experienced runners, and then we have 4 first-time starters. All 4 first-time starters, to me, work very well. They all show talent in the mornings. But how about the pedigree on the 1 Boardwalk? How about the work out there? A lot of things to like about the 1 Boardwalk.
Absolutely. And Boardwalk, he's a full brother to a lot of stakes winners. Full brother to Monopolist, a full brother to Frivolous, a full brother to All-American runner-up Sicario V. Nymph has also produced the stakes winner Nymphette, who as a 3-year-old stepped up against older mares. Boardwalk was one of the top names going into the Los Alamitos equine sale. Dr. Allred ended up repurchasing the horse, and he's got him ready. He has got him ready, and the workouts have looked really, really sharp here. We're going to see him going against Glib on the outside. Boardwalk will be working from the inside, and he's going to have a pretty solid work here. It's going to break really nicely. It's going to move on a straight path right from the word go. He had a clear lead after the gap. We'll see that as well. And it's just going to blast forward under a hand right. Once the jockey tells him, hey, let's go, time to go, the horse just separates away from Glib and is just going to continue under an arch all the way to the finish line. And then he just shows a very, very solid gallop out as well. This was the fastest work on March 25th. 12.3 was the time. And out of 44 works, this was the fastest. And I also posted another really good work earlier that month. That work was a 12.5 on March the 9th. That was the 5th fastest of 39 works. So Boardwalk with a couple of really nice works, and he's going to be facing Glib in this race as well. Glib will be on the far outside, and if we see the odds there, 9-5 on Boardwalk, and even Glib's got a not too high of a price there, 7-2. So it just shows that he was working against a really nice horse. I had a chance to talk to Scott Willoughby, Jose, talking about Boardwalk, also about a horse that he's got running in tonight's 10th race. He also cut up about some of his top female horses that he's got in his barn. She Goes Up, who recently worked on Tuesday, had a nice work as she's preparing to come back to the racing action. And remember her, who won a stakes race last week.
Girls are in full swing here at Los Alamitos, and few horses debuted has been as anticipated as Boardwalk. He was certainly one of the horses to watch at the Los Alamitos equine sale, and now we get to see him in action on Saturday night. Race number 6. Boardwalk has been training really well. Happy to be joined by trainer Scott Willoughby. Scott, tell me about how this horse has been working coming into his debut.
Well, his colt has been working great. Both his qualifying works have been really well. He's done everything very professional. So hopefully, he'll run a good race on Saturday night.
And the last work, he worked with Glib, who's also in this race as well. So they're kind of on the same schedule, right?
Yes, they both came up just right. So we need, some more horses in the race. So we got them both in there. I think Boardwalk's a pretty nice colt. Glib's doing really well, but I think Boardwalk's a little better.
It's a 220-yard race. So we know that this horse is bred to go farther. And we know that the plan's going to be waiting for the Edinburgh Million trials because the kindergarten trials are next week. But this gives you a chance to kind of have some time to get them just right before the Edinburgh trials, right?
Yeah, hopefully we can run this race and come back and catch another race before we have to run the trials. See how he comes back, see how he tells us he wants to run.
And definitely gives you some options there. Also in race number 10 on Saturday night, it's an allowance race, really nice group of quarter horses. Watch him go, coming off of a nice win, but he's facing some horses that he's faced before and lost to, but he is coming off a nice victory, right? So it's going to be a heck of a race.
Yeah, and that horse tries hard every time he goes up there, and you know it's a tough race. Anytime you've won 3 or 4 races here, you start catching the toughs every time you go up. So he's doing really well. Everything's going great. I think he'll run really well.
And he's running from a spot that he won from, you know, one of the outside spots.
Right.
So that's always a plus. I also saw that She Goes Up worked on Tuesday morning. Really nice work. What did you think of that work?
She came back really well. We took her out and had an embryo, and so she's back in training, worked well. She'll be ready for some of the mares races that we have coming up.
And the filly, remember her coming off of a nice victory last Sunday. Maybe in the future in some of those big races they could hook up, right? She Goes Up, remember her.
They could, you know. Luckily, this remember her's a 3-year-old, and we can avoid each other for a little while until we have to run the big races together.
Well, that's a good update there on the Scott Willoughby barn. And just looking at Boardwalk, Professor, reminds me of Monopolist. A lot of the looks there, obviously sibling to Monopolist, but not only is he a sibling, he looks like Monopolist. A lot of what he was done earlier in his career. So he worked well. And what I also liked about the workout, Professor, that he stayed pretty straight. There was not a making mistakes of moving in or moving out. He's going to need to be straight because he drew the inside post.
And having said that as well, I also like the way that once the jockey kind of like made a little push for him to go, he took off.
Yeah.
Like a push button kind of a move. So really like that as well. And looking at this field, some other very interesting works as well. You mentioned that all 4 of those first-time starters worked really well. How about the 3 Optical Illusion? I thought he had a really, really good work, and I thought he had a tremendous gallop out.
Yes, he did, and we'll have this workout right here. He was on the outside of this workout, and I like how professional he looked, Professor. I liked how he had his ears up right at the finish line, and the gallop out was impressive as well. But look how much more developed he's looked as a body. He looks like an older runner. He could be confused by a 3-year-old or an older runner. He's a tank. He's a tank as a 2-year-old. He breaks on the outside, and look how he's just covering much more ground, more fluid. He just looks strong.
On my comments there, I said Optical Illusion looks like the real deal, because he is just such a big, well put together horse. And then look at the way he's just continuing to just fly and fire. He's a dragon out there, Jose. Look at the way he's just hitting up ground. And you were talking, I know you guys were talking about Just a Cartel, right?
Yeah.
And he was another really big, strong horse as well.
Yes. Yeah. So he looked like a man amongst boys out there. Yeah. You can confuse him for a 3-year-old out there. I was impressed with that work. I liked everything that I saw, and it was definitely one of the better looking workouts for sure. We got one more workout. Let's talk about something, Professor. Why don't we talk about something? As we're going to show here the workout for Talk About Something. And Talk About Something was on the outside. Yes. Outside of this workout, April 1st, 12:30 workout, Professor. So this matches the time that Boardwalk put up.
Yeah, on a different morning, but also same clocking. Second fastest of 17 works on April the 1st. She's out of a winning mare by the name of Miss Toxalot, earned over $31,000. But a really nice work as well from the outside. The rider kind of helped her move back to an outside path after she angled in slightly, but really quick strides. That's the thing that kind of caught my eye. She was really, really covering ground in a hurry, which those strides ended up winning the drill by a length and a half. And this wasn't her only, a little bit of trouble there, a little bit of roughness there. But this wasn't her first time that she shined in the morning. She also had the third fastest of 43 drills on March 18th. That was a 12.5. So very similar to what Boardwalk has done in the mornings. 12.5 first work, 12.3 the second work. And now we're getting to see some horses that have had an opportunity to work twice. Now, we don't expect them to, we won't see them in the kindergarten trials. They're being pointed to the Edberg Million because you'll need a race, at least one race before you go into the Edberg Million. Scott Willoughby told us in that interview that he would love to see Boardwalk have two races.
Yes.
Edberg. So a nice little sharpener at 220 yards, just kind of get him to learn what he's doing, and then maybe stretch him out at 300 yards, getting ready for those 350-yard trials. Same thing probably would talk about something. I would assume same thing with Optical Illusion as well. So we're starting to see those horses that can, that have big ambitions getting to debut right away.
This might be as competitive as a 2-year-old race as far as expected works and what we're expecting out of them, Professor, as we had this season. Because we've had maiden races where we have one or two standouts. To me, all of these 4 first-time starters are expected to do very, very well, which is I find this race very, very interesting.
I agree. And then you have to throw in that wrinkle that you have a couple of horses with experience. Number 4, Great Valiant, ran third in his racing debut, and the workout was pretty decent as well. So he's got that experience. He's going to be 4-1 on the morning line, and then you have 2 Corona King. He's the big long shot in this race, but again, he does have some experience and faced a really nice horse that we talked about quite a bit in Political Rivalry.
And speaking of experience, that's all you need, because last week, Professor, remember there was it a Roman Figueroa trainee that was the only horse with experience, and that's the one that defeated a well-touted first-time starter last week. I believe it was to start the late pick for, and that's, sometimes that's all you need, an racing experience to be able to elevate you next time out and really improve. So that's the case here for the 4, Great Valiant, and the 5, 2 Corona King. The 4, Great Valiant, trained by Felix Gonzalez, ridden by Jesse Gonzalez. And do you know if there's any relation between Jesse Gonzalez and Felix Gonzalez?
Yes, Felix is Jesse's uncle. So Jesse is Felix's sister's son, and Felix Gonzalez, giving him a chance to ride. He hasn't ridden much, but I know that he's probably has a little bit of experience. You know a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I looked up his stats. He has one winner. It was a thoroughbred winner at Elko. So he had a thoroughbred winner at Elko. So Jesse Gonzalez riding here now, Los Al, for his uncle, Felix Gonzalez. And we know Henry Lopez is also the nephew of Felix Gonzalez. He's rides it too for Paul Jones. So it's all in the family here at Los Al here in race number 6. Best of luck to Jesse Gonzalez riding the 4 for his uncle, Felix Gonzalez. Since Scott Willoughby was talking about a runner in race number 10, why don't we wrap up the show by looking at race number 10? Both Christopher Wade and I like Just Another Cartel. We're talking about him and his pedigree and his distance here. But Scott Willoughby has Watch Him Go. Watch Him Go was a very game in that win last time, my Professor. We saw that backtrack there. It was a blanket finish, but he was a good out of the gate, good to finish, good final clocking. Now he's getting back against some runners that he's been facing before in previous races.
Yeah, and I'm going to make him my top selection, Jose, in race number 10. I know that yourself, as well as Chris Wade, like the one horse, Just Another Cartel, but I'm going to go with the outside post there for Watch Him Go, starting from post number 6. And like you mentioned, a lot of really good times and very consistent times. Even when he's run 4th or won the race, his times have been very consistent. He did run 3rd to Just Another Cartel and Stroll Finders Corona, both runners in this one. But in that one, he was starting from post number 2. I like the post switch to post number 6, Armando Cervantes, now having an opportunity to ride this horse for the 4th time. And every time that Armando has, for the 4th time this year, And every time that Armando has gone on him, looks like the horse gets better. So I like that improvement from the 6. Watch him go. Good connections here. I like the 7 Strawfinders Corona as well. This one also performs really nice efforts. I think it's a pretty competitive race, but I was pretty impressed that both of you guys made just another cartel such a pick for both of you.
Professor, that just spells trouble. There's no way just another cartel can hold the weight of both me and Chris' opinion. So hopefully, just another cartel doesn't listen to our opinion, and he takes care of business.
And you got another horse by the number 3 horse, Insider, who has run some nice races here at Los Al. Actually, qualified to the Governor's Cup Derby. Didn't do so hot in that race, but did run second to Favorite Honey, who ended up winning the Governor's Cup Derby. In Gambling Favorite, I think Gambling Favorite also has a little bit of a shot winning last time out over a top opening, who is also running on Saturday night. So really nice quarter horse feature, this allowance event, with a nice purse of almost $15,000. Henry Reynoso Lopez up on number 1, just another cartel. I'm going to go with the outside horses here in this one, just to make it a little bit interesting, Jose. Just to make it just a little bit interesting and something for us to kind of, go butt heads on.
Well, last week, Professor, on the show, it was Christopher Wade and Mike Wrona head-to-head in the same race. They had opposite picks. It was Mike Wrona getting the best of Chris with his selection, and Michael's pick actually won, because we have previous editions of the show, Professor, where we've been heads up, and none of us have picked the winner. Actually, we'll take it back.
Did you have 3?
I remember
3 different picks.
I remember. I think it was in a trial or a stakes event. It was the 4 of us on different horses, Professor. Shame on us. Nobody picked the winner. It was you, Chris, Michael, and myself. 4 different selections in the same race, and lo and behold, we did not come up with the winner. That will go down in history.
That was a very rare occasion where we didn't come up with the winner.
It was. And we kind of set it up for failure. We said, what if it happens? What if none of us picked the winner? Lo and behold, that's what happened way back then. I'll have to go and look it up when it was. But yeah, so we'll be head to head. Me and Chris on just another cartel. Professor G goes with Watch Him Go in gate number 6. What's upcoming, Professor? Burgarts, April 29th. Talk to us about that promotion.
Well, it should be a fun night there at Burgarts. First of all, we'll be giving away the Burgarts hat. Yes. Commemorative first time edition ever, very exclusive. But you have to be at Burgarts. You'll get it only with your paid Burgarts nighttime admission. Nighttime being after 4:30 p.m. There at Burgarts, we have a really nice stakes race that night, the Cahuilla Bar Handicap. We're going to have a nice cash contest, a handicapping contest. So come on out and have some fun. None of this big, heavy pressure of the NHC berth where you have to pay, $500. No, it's free to enter, and you might win some cash prizes. Maybe we'll put together a nice bag of swag from Los Alamitos as well. We're also going to have a souvenir shot glass special. So order one of your favorite drinks. I know you like tequila, and you order that drink, that nice taster, and you get to keep the shot glass as well. And we'll have a lot of other fun things happening. There are Burgarts $5 draft specials the whole night on April the 29th, a Saturday night, the Cahuilla Bar Handicap in action. Of course, you get to take home a really cool Burgarts hat. And man, I've been hiding, Jose. I've been hiding. Yes. People have been seeing the commercial, and they've been asking me, hey, can you get me one? Can you send me one? You gotta be at Burgarts on April 29th, okay?
I've been getting texts, Professor, since we first launched that promo on the show. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I've been getting texts. How do I get my hands on a Burgarts? I was like, you gotta go to Burgarts. I don't have the pool just yet to get you one of those hats. You have to be at Burgarts on April 29th.
I got them under lock and key.
Yes.
Lock and key, Only Isabel's the only one that has seen one live. That's it.
Yes. And if you get one of those, hang on to it, because I've got word that Burgart will be in the house. At least I know for sure in June, right?
That's right.
So he'll be on the premises in June, so you can hold on to it. It's signed by the man himself.
Yeah,
correct.
Opening week of the Thoroughbred meet he will be on the grounds for those day and night double headers. So yeah, get your Burghart's hat, save it, then come out on opening weekend of the Thoroughbred meet, hang out for the night races, and you might spot the legendary Ed Burghardt. And if you have a Sharpie, bring your Sharpie. Maybe you can sign it.
Yeah, get the silver Sharpie or the gold Sharpies. Those are going to be needed because it's a black hat. It's a black hat. Yeah, gold to make it extra memorable.
Right.
Yeah, get the gold Sharpie. Yes, correct. Is it gold stitching on the hat, Professor?
Yes. Yep.
There you go. All right, here we go. Here is the schedule of events. Get to Burghart's on April 29th. You got to enter through the Burghart's entrance, right?
That's
and make
right.
sure you sign up for the free handicapping contest. Order your favorite selection. I'll get a Cazadores or Patron shot of tequila, and I'll get a shot glass as well.
There's a nice
And then,
Maruya there as well.
Yeah, correct. Get your gold Sharpie, get your hat, put it under lock and key, and wait for Burghardt to show up in June.
And remember, it's going to be very limited quantity, so get there early.
Mhm.
Okay, get there early. You got to be there at Burghart's. It's going to be some music playing in that sports bar as well. Get the chicharrones. Order those chicharrones as well, Jose.
Mhm.
And it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Don't miss it. They're at Burghart's April 29th.
All right, Professor, thank you for those updates and those things to come in the schedule. Speaking about the schedule, next week, we got trials for the kindergarten already. It's that time of the year, just like that, Professor.
Yeah, and all of those horses that we saw, Heath Taylor's loaded. So many of his nice winners. Jose Flores had a bunch of horses that worked this week. I'm sure we'll see a couple of them. He's a good reason. Remember him. He might be one of those. Dutch Masters 3 and Jaime Gomez. I'm sure they'll have a couple of nice ones as well. The kindergarten trials next Sunday, the 23rd. You'll be back on the TVG set by then. So we're looking forward to that. Great first week of trials. That means the consensus will be back as well, Jose. So get ready for that.
Pizza bets.
Pizza time,
that means
right?
Pizza bets left and right. There's going to be so many bets between us, like flying left and right. Somebody's going to owe pizza for like 3 weeks in a row. We're going to eat pizza on somebody's dime in the next few weeks. The consensus will be back.
Absolutely. So looking forward to that weekend. Looking forward to this Saturday, 10 race card. First post 6 p.m. And again, the track record holder Dutton will go in race number 4. Boardwalk and some other really nice juveniles in race number 6. And then several of other allowance quarter horse races as well to close out the card. Hope you join us this Saturday here at Los Alamitos.
Sounds good. We'll leave it at that, Professor. I'll see you this weekend. By the way, congratulations to the Los Alamitos Futurity winner, representing, taking down the Santa Anita Derby, right?
Yeah, practical move on by a name that is well known in the quarter horse world, the Amistois. They're part owners of this horse. Tim Yakteen, who started his career in horsemanship here at Los Alamitos, and of course, practical move, who won the Los Alamitos Futurity, hangs on there to win the Santa Anita Derby, and now headed to Kentucky.
Yeah, so a lot of Los Al flavor will be added to this year's Kentucky Derby, and you can watch the Kentucky Derby in all the proceedings and enjoy it from the comfort of the Vessels Club or also a burger. So get to reserving some of those seating, and we'll get you some of that information there as soon as it becomes available. All right, Professor, thank you for the updates, and good to see you. We'll see you this weekend out there at Los Al.
Thanks so much, Jose. Have a great day, a great night. See you this Saturday.
Go Clippers. I got to root for the Clippers, so go Clippers, Professor.
Go Clippers.
Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, with a season's best $205,000 on January 7th and a $115,000 pool on January 29th. The traditional $2 pick six, a great bet, a great deal, big time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.